Pat said, for 30-something years. And it's just, they have been not only business associates, but friends.
Yeah.
And we love them and we appreciate. They've been very strong leaders in NuSkin all these years. Anyway, how many of you would agree with me that we are very blessed to be part of NuSkin?
Yes, we are very blessed. We agree.
It's the best company around. My dad was Dave Johnson Sr., and he was the gentleman who was able to recruit the first Asian into NuSkin. And that was in it was in 1988. I think it was October 1988, not sure. But you could imagine what happened when he told my mom, Connie. He came downstairs. He says, "Connie, I just recruited the first Asian in NuSkin." And guess what she said? She said, "Good." Because she did not know what this would mean for our family and for NuSkin. But it's absolutely changed our family. In the 70s, my dad would say to me, and we were both in sales. I was in sales, and my dad was in different sales. And he would say to me, he said, I really wish that we could figure out, or I could figure out some kind of a business that our family could do together. That actually I could leave for my family. This was in the 70s. He did not know what kind of business he could leave because we were just salespeople at that time. But, what happened was my mom told me that my dad had joined another company, one of these, because he had been in 2 or 3 other actually probably 4 or 5 other network marketing companies, and they had all fallen flat. And so what happened was when my mom told me that Dad had joined another one of these companies, I thought, okay. So basically what was happening, I was waiting for that to just, fizzle out and, it'd go on to another company, or maybe he wouldn't do anything. Because we had both had bad experiences with these kind of companies. And so I still kept hearing about NuSkin, and it did not fizzle out. And so they were living in the San Francisco Bay Area. I was living in Seattle, like Pat was saying. And so basically I would hear names like Hung Tai Wong. I heard names like Ching Ping Wong. Heard names like Betty Sung, Lang Chow. I heard names Pat and Marguerite Sung. And so I kept hearing these names, and then I heard a story. How many of you have you ever heard Dr. Hung Tai Wong actually speak? He had a real sense of humor. Do you remember that sense of humor he had? He said one time they had a meeting, I guess it was in Bethesda, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, at a hotel, and Dr. Wong had invited probably 400 or 500 people to this meeting, and he had paid money for this big room, and he had told people there's this gentleman named Dave Johnson who's coming out from California. He's going to tell us about this business that I just got involved with called NuSkin, and so come to this meeting. So they were expecting, like I said, 400 or 500 people. About the time that the meeting got started, this was a big room too. There was actually about 7 or 8 people. Now, Marguerite, you were one of those people, right? Marguerite was one of those people. So the story goes that Hung Tai Wong said that my dad said, "Okay, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's all meet in a circle. Put all the chairs in the middle." And so they all sat in this circle, and Dr. Wong was so embarrassed. So he was just kind of looking around. He saw a chandelier just above him. He thought, I just wish that chandelier could come down right now onto me, because I'm so embarrassed. But if you know the rest of the story, Dr. Hung Tai Wang went on to leave an incredible legacy. And he was one of the incredible leaders of our company. You've also heard of names like Russ Carlin?
Yeah.
Okay, Russ Carlin was the gentleman that recruited my dad. But Russ Carlin did not know my dad. They were not old friends. They just met in 1988. So how did Russ meet my dad? Good question. Well, this is what happened. Russ Carlin went to his parents' house in Bakersfield, California to visit. And so he thought, oh, I'm going to go see an old friend, my parents' neighbor, John Lavender. So he lived right next door to Russ's parents. Okay, John Lavender, that name doesn't mean anything except, I'll tell you the story. So he walks up, he says, hey John, got into this business called NuSkin. Would you be interested in, hearing more about it? He said, no, I'm in the ministry and not at all interested in that. But thank you for asking me. Now, this is a critical situation right here, what I'm going to say. It could have ended with Russ Carlin saying, well, John, it was so nice to see you again. Shake his hand, walk across the lawn to his parents' house, close the door. It would have been it, over with. And Dee and I would not be here today. But what happened, instead, he said a key sentence. Instead of saying goodbye, he says, oh, okay, who do you know that might be interested? And that was what Russ said to John Lavender. Well, it ended up, John Lavender said, you know what? I've got a friend of mine that lives up in the San Francisco Bay Area. Tell you what I'll do. You wait right here on my porch. I'm going to go get his name and his phone number for you, and I'll be right back. Just hang on. Just wait right there. 2 minutes later, John Lavender came back down, gave a piece of paper to Russ Carlin. So what happened was John Lavender used to travel with my dad years before, and my dad would play the piano, and John Lavender would preach. So that's how they knew each other. But what happened was now, Russ Carlin started calling my dad. Well, my dad had been burned on these kind of businesses, so he was not at all interested. He told his secretary, listen, what I want you to do is I want you to screen the calls when this guy named Russ Carlin calls. I just tell me, and I'll walk outside on the porch here. So I'm not going to lie and say I'm not in, but just let me know I'm going to walk outside, and then you can say I'm not in, because I don't want to talk to him. I'm not interested. And this went on for a couple months. Okay, so one day, Ryland, the secretary, was sick. My dad had to answer the phone calls. And guess who called? For his, you know how many times it was? 11 times that Russ called my dad, Dave Johnson. So what happened was, Russ got on the phone with my dad, and the rest is history. That is the day that changed our family's life. And NuSkin, because it's been a big part of NuSkin. My dad used to say things like, to be successful, need to, number one, use the products, talk to people, attend meetings, and associate with other people in the business. All right, well, use the products. We need to be a product of the products. We need to know how the products work. And so being a product of the product, using the products. Talking to people, we need to talk to people, whether it's on social media or belly to belly or whatever. How do we do? Well, it's to build our retail business. It's important to have retail customers. It's also important to have people who will build a business with you to become distributors. Okay. The other thing is we want to associate with other people who are in this business because we want to be accountable to them. Because when we sometimes are down, and we all get down, right?
Yes.
So then we have to work with others. So you know what? Russ and my dad each quit the business 7 times. Did you know that?
No.
Except they didn't quit on the same day. The other day, the other one would tell the other one why they should stay in the business. And we're glad that happened. We're very pleased with that they had that they had each other to talk the other one into staying. So what happens when you have something that maybe you're upset about? We don't want to go talking to the people you brought into the business. Talk to the person who brought you into the business. But when you have something exciting to share, then talk to the people you brought into this business, so they'll get more excited. Anyway, back to the story. So what happened was, back in 1989, my dad and mom drove up to Seattle from the San Francisco Bay Area. They pulled into the driveway, and Dad got out of the car. He hugged me, and then he pulled a piece of paper out of his pocket, coat pocket, and it was a copy of his check. We're not allowed to say any more, check amounts, but I can just tell you that I was blown away. So I said, Dad, come on in. We talked. I joined NuSkin that day. This was in May of 1989, and my dad insisted. There was no other way. This was the way it's going to be. Put your letter of intent in the first month you get into NuSkin. So I did. So I became an executive right away. And so since May of 1989, we've worked together as a family, building this business, traveling the world, helping to build the business, opening new countries. Back in 1990, NuSkin was still not international. It was just the United States. So then Canada opened, and then 1991 and 1992, my dad and several of the Asian leaders opened Hong Kong and Taiwan. And then, of course, from that point on, several other countries followed. But anyway, let me ask you this. How many of you really love the NuSkin products? And how many of you use them? I've got people, I'm not trying to be self-promoting, but I've got people that tell me they're kind of shocked when I tell them I'm looking forward to getting my tax, tax exemption, for property tax for next year. They said, one lady said, well, did they have it at 55? I said, no, it's at 65. I said, you're 65? Now, I've had a lot of people say that. But you know what? I started using NuSkin when I was 34 years old. But the thing is, using the products, but using them correctly every day is very important.
Yes.
Anyway, we have over how many products? 300? Yeah. Okay, there's probably 20 or 30 that I use every day. So I can't say if there's a favorite product. I will tell you there are 2 products I will not use. Mascara and the lipstick. My wife Dee does, and she'll tell you about it in a little bit. Anyway, just to wrap up, and Dee's going to come up. Since my dad passed in 2009, our family has worked to uphold this legacy that my dad created.
Wow.
In NuSkin. So we are legacy. This business is inheritable. Whenever we would be, Scott Schwartz would be in Texas, and we'd be in Houston, and he'd always call Dave Jr., would you stand up? This is an example, and he pointed to me, of legacy, of how you can build a business that will last for you and for your children and grandchildren. And that's what's happening with our family. And so, anyway, this business that my dad thought that he wanted to have in the 1970s, he wanted to build a business in the 1970s that we could work together and he could pass on to his family. Well, this come true with NuSkin. And so I would just like to encourage all of you to build your own legacy. It's worth it. All I can say, it's worth it. And so I'd like to ask my wife Dee just to tell us her perspective since she joined the family in 1996. I'd like to just have her tell her perspective of this. Thank you, Dee.
Well, I married up, right? So we got married, and I've been in NuSkin for 22, almost 23 years, and it has been a life-changing experience. Before NuSkin, I actually dabbled in other network marketing companies as well, and did quite a bit in one with a very prominent lady at the head. And so when part of what got us together was NuSkin, a lot of the gals in the singles group I belonged to kept telling me about this guy named Dave Johnson, and that he had some great skincare products. So I had tried all kinds of things, had some struggles with acne, with oily skin. And so I thought, well, check it out, see what it, if it's any good. So, of course, when I told him we needed to meet and talk about NuSkin, he was all on board. So, anyway, so we talked about it, and a long story short, we got married, and I joined this great family. I just want to share with you 3 things that I love about NuSkin since I've been a part of it. The first thing is, it is a family. It's amazing, the longevity that we have. We see that family. John C. Maxwell says that everything rises and falls on leadership. And one of the things about NuSkin is we have incredible leadership, from the very top down to your uplines, whoever you know in the business. It's an incredible job that they do leading this company, and you always feel the love. I'm always amazed when I go to the corporate offices, and you can walk up and talk to Joe Chang, or you can walk up and talk to, when Scott Schwartz was around, Scott Schwartz, and just people that Sandy Tillotson, anybody, you can just walk up and talk to them, and they talk to you like you're their best friend. And I love that about NuSkin. Plus, there's a lot of sidelines that and other lines that work, and everybody's a family. So one of the things that I love about NuSkin is that family atmosphere. It really is heartwarming. Another thing I like is all the support that we get. If you are fairly new or thinking about it, this company has amazing support. You just jump on the phone and they'll help you with anything. And that's a big deal as far as working in a company, because I have been in other things where you don't get that kind of support. So the support that we get, the fact that we have a corporate person here today, that speaks very well of a company. I run in some circles with leadership stuff, and I know how important certain qualities are with leadership. Of course, the fact that they are relational and they are a part of, want to know about our lives. I know when Dave's dad died, Scott Schwartz flew in for the funeral and spoke at the funeral. And I know of another situation when there was a gal who had cancer and was fighting that battle, and a person from the company flew to her house to bring her a bouquet of flowers, So, you're working with a unique company. This is not your typical network marketing company. And so I encourage you to embrace all that is NuSkin. So, the family aspect, the support, and then lastly, the great products. These products are amazing. I am 80 years old. Don't I look fabulous? Woo! I am actually going to be 56 next week. So I am 56 years old. And I work with young children a lot, so that can make you look old. But I feel great, and it's great to feel this good, and I have a lot of people surprised by my age, and I do attribute that to NuSkin products. I love the Lumi Spa. If you've not had a Lumi Spa demonstration, you need to get one. It is the most amazing product. One of my favorites is Soul Solution. I love this product. If you want those baby soft feet, It's a great product. I mean, we have so many. I could say, talk about so many different products I see sitting around the room. But, this is a great company, and it does provide that legacy. Come up here, honey, so we'll wrap this up. It provides that legacy that you want in life. And it takes very good care of our family. We've had some of the most amazing experiences because of NuSkin. We've got to travel the world. We've just had a lot of great experiences. So we are so honored you all are here today, and we want to thank Pat and Marguerite for inviting us. This is a real treat. So thank you guys.